This is how you can overcome that fear of having hard conversations with employees or just people in general. And my name is Tommy. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been able to scale 2 businesses from nothing to $40,000 a month. And I've just most recently bought a Subway franchise a year ago and have been going viral across social media talking about how much my store makes and kind of what goes into owning a franchise. But the video today is more so about business owners and people that want to be business owners and people that honestly just want to have better communication with regular everyday people. And the reason why I wanted to make the video is because it's coming from a place where I am honestly, I don't like confrontation. And I really don't like having hard conversations with anybody, whether that be like spouses, whether that's, employees, whether that's really even friends. Like I really like to avoid any type of confrontation altogether. That's just how I am. Like I'd rather just not be a part of it. And when I became a business owner where I had to hire people, I had to have hard conversations. And the problem is I prolonged them so much that I was really hurting myself in the business in the long run, because like the wrong person stayed on my team and the problems kept happening because I just wasn't attacking the problem head on with hard conversations. But after taking some steps, I've been able to kind of have a better outlook on it. And honestly, I'm just going to speak from my own experiences. Hopefully they help you along your journey. So there was one thing that I did that I noticed helped me a lot have conversations, hard or regular, with absolutely anybody. And that was reading the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And when I read the book, it gives you like a lot of different ways that you kind of approach a lot of problems and you approach anything that you want to talk about with absolutely anybody. And it allowed me to kind of form conversations that didn't turn really, really negative. And I tested it out in my relationships and it worked. And I tested it out with family and it worked. And I then started applying that stuff to my employees and my team and all that good stuff. And what I found out that it is a lot easier to structure a conversation more constructively, even though it's a problem that you're having. And I'll give you an example. So I had a team member, this is for Subway. I had a team member and she was asking me for more hours. And I was like, okay, like you've been doing all right. Like I'll give you more hours. I'll give you, I'll try to like bump you up, give you a higher position and all that good stuff. And she was, after a while, one of my assistant managers was just telling me, she was like, he was like, I don't really think she's, kind of into it. She asked me to go home early. Like, I don't know. I just wanted to let you know. I said, okay, thank you. So in my head, I'm like, okay, you're asking me for more hours and the hours I'm giving you, you're throwing them back at me. So when I make the schedule next week, I'm conflicted. I don't know what to do, right? And I had to have this hard conversation. It's a very young girl, kind of emotional, like, so I knew I had to have this conversation. I had to structure it correctly. So I finally sat down and I was like, okay, how am I going to start this conversation? And after watching videos of like Alex Hormozy, where he gives tips about, how to talk to people like in corporate settings, right? I'm like, okay, well, I'll just, bring it down to my businesses, right? So what he was saying was you need to basically say exactly what's happened and then ask a question to where it puts them in a position to tell you what you need to do. And like, so I'll give you an example. So like she was leaving early and she was being very lazy with like prep and stuff. So I said, okay, hey, let's call her Susie, right? Hey, Susie, I noticed that, you left early yesterday. And this is very unlike you because I know you're like, you usually like, work hard. You like being here and everything. This is just really unlike you. Is there something that's changed here or is there something that changed outside of the store that maybe, having you come into a bad mood into the store? Is there anything that I can fix? Boom. So by saying, hey, like you're usually a great employee, it doesn't throw them out like, hey, you're being a shitty employee or hey, you're being a really bad employee. What the hell's going on? No, it's, hey, you're usually a great employee. This is very unlike you. What's going on? And when I had the conversation, it made it a whole lot easier because like, oh no, well, at home it just da-da-da-da-da, and then we started getting into it. And I was able to correct it from there. So I was able to have more of those harder conversations. Now, of course, there's levels and tiers to this where, that's just a kid, right? But I have an assistant manager, I have a manager, so having those conversations is a little bit different because those people hold a lot more weight in your business or your company, whatever. The higher up is kind of the harder conversations for me, but I am getting into a point where it's like, okay, things are like this. We need them like this. What do you need from me to make sure we can go from here to here? I'm having better conversations like that, and it's hard to do it. It was hard. Let me say it was hard to do it early on because I'm so young. Like I'm younger than almost everybody that I've ever hired or I've ever been a manager over when I was still, working a 9 to 5 and stuff, is I'm the youngest. So like as the youngest, you got extra baggage to kind of put on. So if you're an entrepreneur that's young and you're about to start hiring people, or you're a wannabe entrepreneur that knows they're going to have to hire people, you're going to have to swallow that immature pill of being able to talk to people older than you about problems that you're having with them. And I think it's an acquired skill, but I think the best thing will be, one, to read that book, and two, frame everything that you're saying as, hey, you're usually very great. What's going on right now? Is there anything I can do to help? Or you say, hey, I asked you to do this. You did this. What happened? Was there a break in communication, or did you not know what to do, or did you not have the resources to do it? When you talk to them like that, it's a more appealing conversation than to just like talk to them and say, hey, this is the problem, fix it, right? And I'm starting to learn that a lot more inside of my businesses, especially Subway, because I hire more employees for Subway. And I just want to share that with you guys. So like I said, I make a lot of content where I'm kind of just like talking about some of the experiences that I've made, or things that I've learned throughout entrepreneurship. Hopefully it helps you guys out there. But bare minimum, I want to at least have a timeline from when, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I can say, yeah, that stuff's still relevant today, and, it'll help somebody later on. So I appreciate you guys coming back to the channel. If you have any questions about, hiring employees, keeping employees, I also have a video that I put out for that. If you're a wannabe entrepreneur, I have started a entrepreneur community where we have 5, 6, 7-figure entrepreneurs that talk business, and we teach you how to get funding for your business, fix your credit, all that good stuff. If you want to be a part of that community, the link is going to be down below. It's absolutely free for you to join. And you can book a call with me so we can talk and I can figure out what type of business you want to get into. But I appreciate you guys for always viewing my channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you've been here before, I appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next video.